I've talked a lot about clean energy, and if there's an accident with clean energy, it's never as bad as dirty energy. Here's a great example. Somebody sent me this on Twitter. It was actually at rt.com, but huge wind turbine crushes truck on German Autobahn. So what happened, apparently, if I understand this correctly, there was a truck transporting a giant wind turbine blade that was roughly 203 feet long, and another truck hit it, and then the wind blade basically like hit a truck, crashed, and then there was a traffic jam for miles, right? So what was the result of that? Okay, there was an injury. So the Autobahn was closed for a number of hours, which obviously is going to have, there was like 8 miles long of traffic jam. And they estimated the property damage was $512,000. That's significant. Nobody was killed, according to this article. There was just some injuries. Now, let's say they hit an oil tanker and the oil tanker blew up. A blade can't blow up. It can't spread. They're not talking about if it was toxic waste. They're not talking about, oh my God, the cleanup's going to take months and days and years. It's not the Gulf of Mexico with, what was it, the 2011 or 10 pipeline spill, right? Deepwater Horizon, that thing, they're still cleaning that up. That killed marine life. It killed their tourism industry. It killed everything. They're not talking about the Fukushima plant that radiation is now from the 2011 tsunami and earthquake in Japan. There's radiation hitting the West Coast from that. This bad, scary, dangerous, somebody got hurt, nobody's dead, and they're not going to be cleaning it up for years. It was a bad car accident. Okay? Think about that. I've been talking a lot about clean energy because it's like, this is the worst, and I'm sure the oil people are in the mainstream media. Go, oh, see, wind turbines kill people too. No, they don't. Actually, they don't. They don't. A guy has to hit a wind turbine truck. It's not that the wind turbines aren't safe. This actually is the best example of why we need clean energy. Right? If this was coal, if this was atomic waste, if this was anything, uranium, plutonium, any of that, oil, gasoline, holy shit. We'd be talking about dozens of deaths, and they're going to be cleaning it up for months, and people had to be evacuated because there was a plume of toxic smoke going out of their way. This is the worst that can happen. I did that story about nuclear power plants in America are completely old and outdated, and they're not safe. And there's the leak up in Hanford, the Hanford plant up in Washington that we talked about, that a Patreon backer gave me that story. That's still going on. That's still dangerous. This story's over. It was a bad traffic jam for a couple hours. Sucked for the people in line, right? You got stuck on the freeway. Oh, this sucks. I'm late for something. Maybe it caused, oh man, I missed something. I missed the doctor. I'm sick. Okay. Not good, but is it going to be cleaned up for hours on end? No. And this is the thing, the mainstream media refuses to just come out and do actual journalism and say, we need clean energy, the statistics are overwhelming. They do that thing where they'll have Bill Nye and then a climate change denier, and they put them on equal footing. And Bill Nye was on CNN, and he goes, well, if you guys, CNN, you're doing a disservice. If you really want to be honest, you should have 97 scientists with me and then 3 climate change deniers. And it's just preposterous. A traffic jam and a couple people got hurt. So this is a great example of why we need clean energy, this accident. Well, I'm sorry these people got hurt, and I'm sorry there was a traffic jam. It shows you this is the worst case scenario. Like, this is the worst, maybe. A little worse if somebody actually died. That would be worse. But the freeway's closed for the next 20 years. I mean, none of that. So Thank you for sending me this on Twitter, and you guys for supporting the show. Go to the Patreon page because they're not going to talk about this kind of shit. And America could have wind turbines everywhere. We could have a clean, safe grid. I talked to a guy that worked for a wind turbine company. Actually, he goes around the country and he evaluates regions like, is there enough wind here? And he told me that there's enough wind in North and South Dakota to power 60% of America's energy needs. Instead of building pipelines that predominantly white community Bismarck, North Dakota votes against, and then it goes into Native American land and now it's leaking and they have to have riots and they get shot with tear gas and water guns and all this other kind of awful crap. We're still treating Native Americans that way. We're still sending cops and soldiers to beat the shit out of Native Americans who just want their land and clean water. Oh boy, they're always causing trouble wanting the clean water in their own land. What if we went to the tribe and said, you guys want some wind turbines? That's what the tribe should do. Put up wind turbines and create your own power and fuck their energy. Fuck their oil bullshit. As I say, vote with your dollars. Put up a wind turbine in your backyard if you can. Get off the grid. Get off of their oil. Get away from the energy companies because they're the ones that control this crap. If they see that there's a profit to be made, and there is, in wind turbines, invest in wind turbines, support companies and businesses, even a little local store that has a solar panel on it. Go support them. Stuff like that, little things like that you can do every day in your life and in your community to say we're done with the dirty energy that is poisoning this earth and could potentially extinct the human race. Not exaggerating, not being a conspiracy theorist. Human beings need drinkable air and breathable water to survive. And a turbine crashing on a freeway doesn't damage those things. Oil spills do. Gas spills do. Nuclear energy spills do. Toxic waste does. Thanks for watching, you guys.